Good Friday morning, YouTube. So, what if you want to turn over the engine to do this piston stoke instead of cranking the engine over by hand? Well, that's why I decided to make another video. But let me back up for a minute. So, yesterday's video, I think we were at the 5th time doing this B12 Chemtool. Last night, I did the 6th time, but I did it by the key instead of by hand. And I decided, since there's all this Chemtool just sitting on top of the pistons, why not put it to good use and just do this process for another day and a half, 2 days. So I'll get 4 days total instead of 2, more cleaning. But I was kind of getting tired of turning over by hand, and I was thinking, well, maybe doing it by the key will clean it even better. Or maybe a combination of both, hand cranking and key is a good combination. I don't know, it can't hurt anything, right? So I had placed this rag here to try and help catch some of it. But it just blows off. It'll probably just blow off again. So this is a messy process, just so you know. It might make a mess everywhere. You're going to have to clean. What you need to know too, though, on a Toyota Camry is where your fuel pump relay is. And I pulled out a fuse too for the fuel injector, so you don't need to disconnect any fuel injectors back there. Obviously, if you're doing this on a different vehicle, you got to locate your fuse. On some vehicles, they'll call the main relay your fuel pump relay. Some cars will just call it a fuel pump relay. But you don't need any gas spraying in there when the spark plugs are out, because then later on, when you do go start the car with spark plugs, you might have flooded the engine. So let's show for this Toyota Camry location here. Try to do this with a tripod here. So you just remove this cover on the fuse box here, and see here in our fuse box, this third one over says C/OPN. Don't know what that stands for, but apparently that relay does the fuel pump and possibly some other things. And then we have this fuse here, 15 amp IGN, and then right below it 10 amp IG2. So that's also 3 over from this way. This little red 10 amp fuse, that's what the relay looks like. And here's where they go. So the third one over, that relay, and third one over from the bottom, that fuse. So that fuse controls the fuel injectors and a few other things in the ignition, and the fuel pump might also be on there. And then that's your fuel pump relay. So now, see, get this tripod set up back over here, and I'll go turn over the engine with a key, and you're probably going to see some stuff go flying. So let's turn over the engine for a couple seconds. Hopefully nothing falls. I got a lot of stuff here. Huh. Interesting. So today the rag didn't go flying. I wonder if that means there's less B12 in there now. Maybe it's finally starting to get dried out. I mean, yesterday I had the spark plugs out all day, and that stuff was just sitting in there. It seemed like it wasn't evaporating or going through. So maybe, now I'm wondering, maybe when I was cranking it over by hand, it wasn't really getting the product through those piston rings. But maybe turning over the engine, maybe that stuff finally did work through the piston rings then. Because I don't think it's been evaporating. It's cold outside. Let me turn it over again with the rag off and see if we can see anything come up here. Okay, yeah. So there is still a lot of Berryman B12 sitting in there then. Oh, so the rag just actually stayed in place today. So I guess this actually does help if you don't want that much of a mess. Well, I need to let it start evaporating, right? I need to finish this up tomorrow. Well, anyways, that's how you do it.